We've got Fezile here with us and Martin. We're going to share a little bit about a great initiative called What's Cooking and some about Zimbabwean cuisine and some of the work they're doing over there. Good morning, Martin. Good morning, Fezile.
Good morning.
Nice to see you
Good
both.
morning. Yeah. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yes, right. Morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I try and do all of it because we have chefs and members and viewers from all over the world watching. And I'm so excited to share what you have to say today. I like to also acknowledge all the people who are behind the scenes, the office at World Chefs, and especially Isla, keeping us on track and making sure everything runs smoothly. So thank you to all of you. And thank you to our viewers. There's, I see from Singapore and Tunisia and New York City, Mauritius. We've got people, coming in from Egypt and Delhi. If I start reading, then everybody starts putting where they're from. So I'm going to stop there because it's like having breakfast with the whole world. It is always a fabulous experience. We'll give it another minute or two. What's the weather like in Zimbabwe today, Fezile?
Oh, the weather is beautiful. It's sunny right now. I'm sitting outside and enjoying it.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yes.
We had an abnormally warm day yesterday. We were up to 19 degrees Celsius here in Canada. It's normally 4 degrees this time of year. So everybody was in t-shirts and shorts at 19 degrees because Canadians think that's, sort of summer weather. So how about where you're at, Martin? What's it like there today?
Well, I'm in Rome, and it is the sun is shining. It's been a bit some few cool days, but it's warming up now.
Starting to feel like spring is coming in.
Absolutely, it's running.
We really do have sustainability around the world here, from Rome to Zimbabwe to Toronto, Canada. And with that, I'm going to get started because I don't want to delay, because I want to make sure we have time in the next half hour to speak about the What's Cooking initiative that you both are so involved with and have done so much. Before we get into sort of the nitty-gritty of Zimbabwean cuisine, tell me a little bit about this What's Cooking initiative.
Well, I can start off just, we started off, it's quite fairly new. We've been in the food related activities before, but we come together, me and Fezile, we met half a year ago and started working on this initiative called What's Cooking. And what we're trying to do with this really to inspire and infuse the Zimbabwean cooking with different ideas, recipes, and trying to challenge a bit of some of the traditional cooking, because some of it is limited in diversity, in the sense that it is quite monotonous in certain parts. And we're trying to also not only about infusing the diet, but it's also making it fun and enjoyable and engaging, the cooking in itself.
Yeah, not just being a meal. So with that said, Fezile, you being a chef, I wonder if you can share a little bit about the current sort of Zimbabwean cuisine, what the diet looks like for most people during a day.
Oh, thank you. The diet for us Zimbabweans, it's I would look at it from the urban setup and from the rural setup. In the rural setup, people wake up in the morning and they have meal porridge. It could be meal from maize, rapoko, or from the millets, and they have lunch, which is usually sadza, again, the thick porridge with vegetables, and dinner, and in between it's the same thing. It's more carbohydrate, high diet. With being served with vegetables. There is a variety sometimes when people decide to, say, boil ground nuts mixed together and have them for a meal, but they are usually in between meals. But in the urban, for other people who are better off, they can have a good breakfast, the English type of breakfast, full of baked beans, bacon, eggs, and stuff like that. But the diet is also carbohydrate high, because they will also have rice, spaghetti, and most of the people in the urban who are affluent like eating fast foods. So
Oh.
the diet is generally not healthy. That's why we have a lot of people suffering from diabetes, from heart problems, from high blood pressure, from arthritis. So what we are trying to do here is to teach people to have a healthy diet using the locally available resources, the food that they produce themselves.
So I would think that sort of looking back on Zimbabwean cuisine, it hasn't maybe always been this way. I'm sure it was more diverse previously. It wouldn't have always been maize, or has it always been sort of, was there other sort of proteins or plant-based items or things that were common in the diet in Zimbabwe?
Yes, yes. The Zimbabwean diet was a high protein diet in the past, and it had also a variety of wild vegetables. But the Green Revolution changed everything. It was high in protein because there were a lot of wildlife then, and the Zimbabweans were hunters, so they
Yeah.
would hunt and eat a lot of meat in the past, and there were no diseases because people ate good meat, and they ate more of the healthy proteins from the wild animals and the wild vegetables, which we have lost now. They will no longer have them. It's a lost diversity, it's a lost seed. But the diet was quite diverse because people could pick this and that, pick even the wild fruits. They were part of that, and they could be preserved for use in a lean season.
Yeah. So this preserving, has it been lost, or is it something that people just don't know how to do anymore, or are the foods not available, or how can you, if you're sharing the idea of diversity, because these deficiencies are impacting health so much, are there ways and are there things that can be grown in the Zimbabwean sort of agriculture that people could consume to diversify?
Yes, that's what we at Hope Tariro. That's how we link up with the What's Cooking. That's why we love What's Cooking. We're trying to bring in the lost diversity, the lost vegetables, and we're doing some strategies to bring back wildlife, like doing regeneration, land regeneration, because the reason why wildlife is running away is because the land is bare. There is desertification, there is land degradation. So if you regenerate the land, the wildlife will come back, and people will start enjoying the wildlife, which provides good protein. And we are also trying to bring back the lost seeds. So what we do is we bring together the farmers from all over to come and share
Wow,
seeds that were long lost. So when they share the seeds, then they will have more climate friendly seeds that were
amazing.
used in the past.
That's, I mean, that's innovative, and it's not because it should be done. You would think the food supply chain of chefs and farmers should be so interconnected, and so many times it's so separate, and people just eat what they've always eaten because it's easy sometimes, right? Or it's affordable, or but if it's available readily, I would hope that people would embrace it. How are you inspiring, I guess, people to do this more? What ways are you using to share this information?
Well, we have
We
different, and this is, as you say, it's a nice way we are using these farmers, not only learning and training people to grow different, but also then cook and learn how to cook and prepare delicious meals. And what we are trying, our approach is here on two levels. One is to create cooking clubs, as we say,
Okay.
on the community level,
Right.
usually based on existing groups. So we
Okay.
don't create the new ones, but we try to leverage the ones that exist. And then on a second level is to work with professional chefs. So we are in a good partnerships with a fairly newly established chefs union in Zimbabwe, where we are trying to then build up a relationship to also evolve the professional chefs to be inspiring and create new delicious stuff with the crops that we everyday people are planting and eating. So this is still it's still early on, but
Yes.
we expect that we evolve new recipes, new ideas, but also bringing those chefs to our cooking clubs to
Yeah.
have like demonstrations or and trainings, etc. But
are you actually going to places with these chefs? Or are you doing this remotely? How is this happening?
Well, so we like to combine it. We have had some chefs coming to the cooking clubs so far, but in the future, we'd love to see how we can combine it. Of course, we done what we have been running is online social media, working with or using social media to do cooking video contests.
Yes.
And I think that is one thing I think is
Really
fun for the
exciting.
professional chefs to be
Yeah.
challenged in, but also to like learn how to communicate, how to prepare dishes and come across when it comes to
This is
ideas and
very
inspiration.
exciting. It's very exciting because for me, I'm sitting here in Toronto. I'm like, what can I do? Because I'm looking at all the people that are coming in. Someone just came in from Germany or Rwanda and Jamaica and all these places where, you know, food is plentiful and diverse. And tell me about what we could do. So, Fezile, if you look at maybe some of the food items that you want to incorporate, what are some of the food items that you think would grow, that do grow well there, that you want to incorporate? And maybe that could help us inspire and share ideas back with you. Your mic is off. Fezile, you just need to turn on your mic. The wonders
Oh,
of the
sorry.
That's okay.
My apologies. My
All good.
apologies.
This is live. It's
I
all
was,
great.
yeah, I was saying some of the things that you would really want to incorporate is the development of local recipes, so that we can be assisted by the experienced chefs, and that the women, the cooking clubs, could be able to do more professional cooking, you know, enjoy it and interact. So that's one of the things that we would really want. If
For
there
sure.
is anyone who's interested in coming in and helping us with
Absolutely.
developing recipes and also giving tips on healthy eating.
Okay. Is there any ingredients that you know specific? Because that usually sort of is my go-to. Because say I don't know the Zimbabwean palette, but if you say you're using a certain ingredient or a few ingredients that you know will grow well there, then I can help develop recipes. What are some things that you know will be used or should be used in the diet to help with this?
Oh, thank you. First, I would look at the cereals. If people could use the small grains, they could use the small grains like shoboda, like finger millets, like the pearl millet and the sorghum. And then
Yeah.
when we come to the vegetables, we combine both the traditional vegetables that we used to eat, that were eaten in the past, the wild vegetables, with the current vegetables like the kale, the which are more western, the
Mm-hmm.
kale, the cabbages, the broccoli, the carrots. And
Okay.
when we go to the oils, it will be great if we can use proper oils, like not using the cooking oil that we don't know where it comes,
Yes.
the content, but use more like even oil from the peanut butter, oil from sunflower, oil
Yes.
from groundnuts, and
Yes.
even the oils that you can get from milk. At
Mm.
least you know that the ingredients are healthy, and
Yes.
you know the ingredients. Yes.
That gives a great start. I mean, things like sorghum and millet can be used in so many ways. It can be churned into a flour or used as a whole grain, made into, you know, warm dishes or salads or all kinds of things. It's super exciting to think about diversifying, because having that maize porridge, one, it has to feel, I mean, you're sustaining yourself, you're eating, you're getting by, but we want people to be inspired, and that inspiration can be nutritionally sound as well. Is there anything that's sort of going to waste or falling by the wayside as far as food in Zimbabwe right now that we could maybe utilize?
I think some Fezile we've also been talking about and we like to do more of is the preservation and
Ah,
fermentation. So
mhm.
also try to extend the
The life.
life of the veggies, like, you know, plenty of tomatoes, being there that is not always utilized to the extent possible, or cabbages, etc. Right? So there's definitely ideas and tips around that is smart and can be used and or by our groups. Yeah,
that's amazing. I mean, I myself, I am a pickler, jammer, fermenter. I've got jars like a science lab all over my house because I love the idea of finding the best of a product and being able to use it all through the year, right? And I think it's the same for there. If you don't have a long growing season, or if you have worries of drought or anything, you want to be able to always have those fresh vegetables and fruits at your fingertips, right?
Yeah. And may I just add also, I think sometimes, like, we forget the basics, about just knowing how to shop. And if you know well how to shop, it makes it just more fun, and you get faster and everything. So some of those basic techniques, if somebody could help doing smart, instructive videos when, cutting or handling knives or maintaining knives or cutting boards, and also like just food safety, some general basics and hygiene things.
I think world chefs, the people who are sitting at home, are excited as well. They're thinking, what can I do? So I mean, what, I guess before we get too far away from the actual core, you mentioned a little bit, Fezile and Martin, about what the impacts of this diet, the current diet, are. Can we explore that just a little bit more? Like, what's it doing to the demographic within Zimbabwe?
Oh, thank you. Usually in the past, diseases such as high blood pressure, diabetes, heart problem, arthritis, they were a disease of the elderly, people above 60. But now you'll find people having type 2 diabetics at the age of 30. Wow. People having heart problems, people having high blood pressure, 30, 35, 40. In the past, it never used to be like that.
Yeah. Wow. It really is impacting the whole health of the country, right?
Yes, because of the way that we eat. So if you change your lifestyle totally, if you change your eating habits, you cook properly, you actually heal.
Yeah, food is medicine. We know that, right? Yes. It really is. Is there anything within the school system where they're training people about nutrition at all? Like, is there anything at all like that right now? Do you know?
They're in the school system, the wrong lifestyle. No one is talking about good food. People are taught about eating rice, eating chips, all those things. And there's an encouragement of fast foods. When children go out, instead of having packed lunches from home, they are asked to bring money to buy food from fast foods, and people tend to like them because the fast food is also tasty, although not healthy.
Yeah, it does satiate your want for things. The fat and salt does, but it doesn't do anything for your health. So you find that you're eating the maize and the porridge, and then once you have, enough money and you're able to sort of get out of that, you're moving the culture is to move into fast food. That's not a real shift in nutrition, right? That's just sort of a step sideways. It's not moving people forward in a healthful way. That's unfortunate. I mean, to support the food economy is great, but to support the fast food economy, I'm not going to say that's the most fabulous way for people to grow, right?
Yeah.
So what can we do? What can we do to help with the change? Because What's Cooking is an amazing initiative. It's fairly new, as you said, Martin. It's not been around very long, but your want for change, I'm sure, Fezile, you've seen it, being a chef, you've seen it long enough, and now you are probably saying, okay, that's it. I've got to do something to help this, right? What could world chefs help and facilitate with this?
No, thanks. Just having us here is just a great help also, and reaching out, because we think that the concept that it's evolving and we have kind of proven to function. We believe is very replicable and scalable in throughout Zimbabwe, but also into the neighboring countries. So if there are chefs from that thinks this is appealing interest, we would love to get in touch from the neighbor, from the region. But we also been reaching out, as we did as you helped us now to do, to come up with inputs, if that is some few videos or connecting us with people that could help us leverage this and go further, or just great ideas and experiences, please.
That's amazing. I mean, I wonder if there's anyone watching right now that has an idea or is in a neighboring country or in similar sort of food circumstance. If there's any questions, just put them into the Q&A. I'm happy to answer them, of course. Our network is broad and it is global. And one of the wonderful things that we do is we love to share. We're all volunteers, you, myself, everyone else, most of the people who are watching right now. And we want to give back and have impact and have something that has meaning. So I can see world chefs, creating, you have the template already, but sharing it with other chefs, like, why wouldn't we share something like this at our next World Congress and say, this is something that's, actively happening. We have it, someone in Zimbabwe is happy to, I've got to scroll down 1 second. See a company, her country being featured. That's Caroline. But we have a Congress in 2026 in Wales, which, it's open now for if you wanted to connect and become a part of that. But to share what you're doing and say, are there other countries? Because we know there's other countries that are struggling with nutrition as well, from South America into Africa. And it's a global issue. It is not isolated in Zimbabwe. You're just doing the work of what needs to happen, right? Which is amazing. And I think our chefs can really help with what you're doing. We could help with recipes. We could help with, I can see even people from our own committees like Feed the Planet. We could be guest chefs on a virtual while you were doing demonstration. And we have so many educators within our group as well that already have videos on how to hold a knife, how to cut properly, how to sharpen it, all these kinds of things. I have students that have done demonstrations of this that could help, and that would be super engaging as well to have young people be a part of it, right? Who's in the cook clubs that you do this with for the most part?
So I think we lost Fezile there maybe, but it is, yes, up to now it is women in general, but we, of course, we want to reach out to create a men's club and also having younger adolescent and also kids at certain point to be involved. So we want to be, and I think I like to think of it like a book club, but for cooking. It's a similar principle. Anyone can set it up. What we are just supporting is physical trainings, but also many then online and connecting cooking clubs to share ideas and recipes, etc. Right?
That's great. There's someone asking, and maybe Fezile is not here, but maybe some of the spices or flavors. Someone's wondering about what they use as far as flavors in the Zimbabwean cuisine. Do you have any idea, Martin?
Well, I mean, I've been living there and so on, and I would say when it comes to spices, of course, there's influence from other parts like Indian cooking, etc. But traditionally, it's not like maybe like the Western Africa is more spices and diverse in that sense. But there's, of course, there's a lot of herbs and fauna around, and we also there's so much growing. It's so easy to grow anything there. So there's all the potential of possibilities.
Wow. That's amazing that it has that potential. It's I hope that it gets tapped into, because those innovations and ideas of food can really explode with chefs and people at home. We have someone, Gracia, and she says she's in Zimbabwe, and she has a big audience on her platform, and she's running pages. She's trying to revive the traditional cuisine in Zimbabwe and cooking methods, and she would really love to assist with what you're doing. So we've got someone on the line that is already 100% in and wants to be a part of it.
Very happy to hear that.
But there's folks who are asking about, fresh ingredients, and I think foraging the local fauna and using what grows there is what's exciting. People wanted to hear more about Zimbabwean cuisine, I think, but I don't want to put you on the spot as we don't have Fezile here. But I think knowing that it is currently in a state of, it's a state of worry almost, right? To have 3 courses throughout your day that are basically carbohydrate, corn or maize based. it's heavy on the body, and it's not giving you nutrition. And quite often the greens, Fezile had said, is cooked in lots of oil, removing a lot of the nutritional value from it, so that it's not giving people what they need for their day, right?
Yeah. And there's also this tendency of overcooking certain things, so you're losing nutritional values in it. And the consequences is also when you're very reliant, and most would agree over-reliant in Zimbabwe on one crop, is that you're also putting yourself in risk when the weather changes, and where you have had quite
having a
climatic
monoculture
shocks.
Yeah, monoculture is very frightening.
Yeah. And many people are surviving, are self-sufficient in the production, and when you have those shocks and alterations, it makes your food security less.
Very precarious. Yeah, and it makes instability in food and agriculture is instability in their country, right, and in their health and in everything. So it's monoculture is frightening in any part of the world. We see it all over. I mean, in our grocery stores, we have traditionally in types of apples, probably about 200 varieties. Canada grows a lot of apples, but in the grocery store, you see 3 kinds. And that's because that's what people have demanded, and it's just easier to grow all one type. But if something happens to that one type, then you wipe out all of the apples available. It's the same with growing maize. If you only have maize and you don't grow sorghum, you don't grow millet, you don't grow other grains that can be really fruitful in Zimbabwe, then you're putting your people and your food at risk, right? So that is oh, haha, someone wants to know what the national Zimbabwean dishes are. But I'm gonna say for
exactly, we will facilitate better know, but as we're talking and repeated here many times, is this what the traditional pap which is called in other parts of Africa, or then sadza in Zimbabwe, which is this maize porridge, or polenta in Italy, what we would say, but that it is a major part of your intake daily, eating sadza, and it is a quite refined maize flour. So it is also, if it had done maybe in a not grind as so finely, you would have more nutritional value in it.
Yeah. There's Gracia, who is from Zimbabwe, the one who does lots of things with food right now and lifting up the food. She's chiming in, giving us some help on this, talking about
very good.
Saying there's lots of grains and legumes and vegetables. She says most time overcooked proteins. She says most families don't have access to meat every day in rural homes. It's sort of a treat once every couple of weeks. Most people are deciding in my part of the world what their protein is and then what they add to it, right? So you've got to flip your brain and say, okay, where can we get all of our nutrition from that is maybe plant-based, and then incorporate meats once the animals come back and we have something to forage and eat from, right? So yeah, so this has been fabulous. I really appreciate you sharing. I wanted to say, what would you say if you wanted to inspire, invite someone from World Chefs to help you out? What would you most like to have from us and our members?
Well, I mean, I think it's this kind of inspiration and in inputs that as we said, in different forms, and the creativity of things that, and being able to communicate that in a good way that anyone can understand. So it's not chefs talking to chefs, but you're talking to everyday cooks, so to speak.
Accessible to everyone, yes.
Right. So it's in the layman terms what and also giving a bit of the background why this would be a good dish also. So it's a bit of the nutritional or health aspects to it.
That's right.
And the thinking. But as I said, sometimes it's just like, I like these ideas with the basics also, the techniques, but also the fundamentals of creating a good dish. What is the sweetness, the bitterness? How do you play
The
this?
why behind, right? That really
Yeah,
gives people inspiration. So
yeah,
inspiration and input, that's what we're looking from for everyone who's watching, anyone who's
yeah.
listening. What's Cooking, that's with a Z on What's Cooking in
Mhm.
Zimbabwe. That'll help you remember that Z, is an initiative that is amazing and really starting to change lives in Zimbabwe, step by step, making real movements forward so that people are eating healthier, they're understanding, they're growing healthier, so that they have a healthier, longer lasting community. And I want to thank you, Martin and Fezile. I'll get back to her afterwards and talk with Chef. If we hear back from any of our chefs who are listening, I really promise to connect them with you. I
Yeah,
myself would love to be a guest speaker on one of your virtual seminars or
thank you.
how-tos. I can make it very fun and engaging. I can show how to sharpen
Sure.
knives. I can show how to
Yeah,
hold it.
yeah,
We can get creative with food ideas. I'd love to do that live or in online, any way that you would like to
yeah,
do it. I'm sure we have people who are watching who would like to be maybe in neighboring countries who could help you as well and grow the efforts that you're doing. So
yeah.
thank you so much for
Wonderful.
being here.
Yeah, big tatenda to you very much for. I mean, it's super just to have this audience and allowing us to speak. And as you say, like you speak to one that speaks to another. It's like a ripple effect, and you never know. Yeah, then we see what fruits come our way,
That's right.
and
All of a sudden,
flourish.
we'll be in Wales together at the Congress sharing with everyone, right? So
Wonderful,
you never
wonderful.
know.
Would love
Um,
that.
but thank you so much. And thank you, everyone who's watching the Sustainability Around the World with World Chefs Today. I wish you all a great day and keep being inspired. Share your thoughts on food, and we will see you next month on the next one. Take care for now.